Welcome to Let's Talk About It. Here we go! Oh! Oh no! Oh my god! No way! Oh! It's Saber Oh, look at these fights! Hey guys, what is up? And welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk About It. A show where we talk about everything going on in the movie, TV, and video game world. I am your host, and I go out and research these topics. Because I want you guys to be informed about what's going on in the movie world, and I just kind of want to share my opinion on these topics going on in our world, the world that we love so much. Covering movie news, TV news, and video game news as well. But guys, please make sure you press that subscribe button. See the button right there? Press that. Just by pressing that, you help us out so much, and I really do appreciate it. And also, make sure you start a comment on this video. Start a conversation. I would love. I want to. Hopefully, I hope I get to see more comments from you guys on my videos. Because I just love engaging with you guys and talking with you guys about everything that can do with movies, TV, and video games. It's such a blast doing this. With all that out of the way, though, we got a few topics here to cover. A bit more. We got 5 topics today. And with all that out of the way, let's start. Let's start with this one. Billie Eilish. She is a top-notch singer. Even not just her stuff she does, commercially, like on stage, but her movie scores, that she's done as well, has won her numerous Oscars. And, like every, entertainer, sometimes they want to do more, And, maybe Billie Eilish, it seems like maybe she wants to, instead of just making music, she wants to be starring in certain things. Well, according to a new rumor, a certain studio has their eye on her. And this is what Comic Movie had to say. Rumor, Marvel Studios interested in signing Billie Eilish for a major role. Now, it does not specify what the role is, but it did say, she has started to act, she was on the Prime Video's show Swarm, and she played a character for an episode. And, a lot of people thought like she had a very good performance. I was like, okay, so maybe she wants to start dipping her toe, not just making music in the movie world, but actually starring in movies in the movie world. And, joining Marvel Studios is a pretty big feat, It's signing on for a long time. Of course, Billie Eilish is a name that's going to attract a lot of people. But, the question is, it has to be the right role. So I'm going to go over 4 options right now that I think Billie Eilish would be perfect for in the MCU. And that first one is this. Gwen Stacy. We already know that we have a new Spider-Man movie coming. It's Spider-Man 4. We do not know the cast for that film yet. But Gwen Stacy is a very much different type of character than Mary Jane. Gwen Stacy is smart, intelligent, she's not afraid to put herself inside danger. If you're going for, there's a couple options to go for Gwen Stacy. You could go for the Amazing Spider-Man, comic version where she gets thrown off the roof of the bridge by Norman Osborn. Or you can go for the newest iteration comic. You can go for the Spider-Gwen version, which would mean you kind of build her character up to meet a Miles Morales one day. Looking at Billie, I think this would be a perfect role for Billie Eilish. She can play, there's the Gwen Stacy's that they have right now are very different from each other. The Gwen Stacy in like the older Marvel comics, Spider-Man was kind of like the cutesy girlfriend type, She was, oh, Spider-Man, you're in danger, Like she was always worried about Peter, I still really love that relationship, but you can also go, like I said, the other Gwen Stacy route where you have Gwen Stacy kind of being this hard knock rocker, who's gone through a lot in her life. There's Gwen Stacy's. She's had some very tragic things happen in her story. Gwen Stacy. She's in the Ultimate Spider-Man run. Her dad died. Her mom left her. She lived with the Parkers for a while. She's been through a lot in her life. So I think if they were going for like a hardened, kind of like I don't want to say it, but emo Gwen Stacy. I think she would be a perfect pick. Now, the next one might be a little bit out of the park. Many of you might not agree with it, but Jean Grey. Jean Grey, one of my problems with how they presented Jean Grey in the movies is that they've always kind of made her, the damsel in distress. It's like, oh, Jean Grey, Scott, Wolverine, come save me. I'm like, Jean Grey is one of the most powerful mutants to ever exist in the Marvel Universe. She is the entity of the Phoenix Force. And, I think, if they went a different route, presented Jean Grey, who at times, is a leader of the X-Men, who in the comics has led her own version of the X-Men. I think it would be really cool to see Billie Eilish step into that role, If you want to start off with a younger, kind of like maybe high school or maybe college-yeared styled X-Men, I think Billie Eilish would be perfect for this role. Jean Grey, she's one of my favorite X-Men. I'm a huge fan of her. And, if we look at Jean Grey during the X-Men 97 show, it wasn't the Jean Grey who needed to be saved. It was a Jean Grey, who, if she was coming for you, you better run because she's going to mess with your mind. She's going to beat you up. She is a powerful force to be reckoned with. And that's why I think Jean Grey is actually a perfect option for Billie Eilish, Like, if they're going for that, I think they could kind of share. They kind of have the similar personalities, Billie Eilish, she's, like, I've seen her during interviews, she's a very, very, positive person, but she does write a lot of dark songs, let's just say that. She writes a lot of dark songs, a lot of really great songs as well. And, I think that's also a part of Jean Grey, she always presents to everyone that, oh, she's bright and shiny, but she is a very dark past, she can be very dark at times, too. That's why I think Jean Grey would be another one. Now, my third option is Black Cat. Of course, I'm going to put Black Cat here because, it's heavily rumored that Black Cat is going to be in Spider-Man 4. And if you're looking for someone to play kind of the opposite to Peter Parker, where Black Cat is kind of the opposite of Mary Jane. Mary Jane, is always trying to help Peter steer in the right direction. Black Cat is always trying to get Spider-Man into trouble. And, I could really see, especially how Black has been represented recently, in the video games. She, if you played that first Spider-Man video game and you do the Black Cat expansion, I can kind of see, hey, I can see you could fit Billie Eilish into a role for Felicia Hardy, a character we have yet to see on screen. And if you're saying, well, what about Spider-Man 2? I'm like, listen, Amazing Spider-Man 2, there was no Black Cat. There was Felicia Hardy, but she was in the film for like 5 seconds. Black Cat is a very interesting character. I don't understand why Marvel or Sony has not done anything with this character. There's been so many cool iterations of this character in the comics. There's been points in the comics where Black Cat's dad was the one who murdered Uncle Ben. That was more in the Spectacular Spider-Man show. But there's been other times where she's been like a mysterious figure that, Peter has never really understood, especially in Ultimate Spider-Man. In the Ultimate Spider-Man comic run, Spider-Man, was teaming up with Black Cat. She was actually part of the Defenders, in that Ultimate Spider-Man one, which was really, really cool. And, I just really want to see Black Cat brought into live action because I think she's such an interesting and cool character. A grounded character also, if you're going to go for a grounded Spider-Man version, I think Billie Eilish would be another character she'd fit perfectly into. And then my last character, I think this one is the least likely to happen, but I think it's pretty cool. Kitty Pryde, a.k.a. Shadowcat. The reason I'm doing this is because, one, they kind of look kind of similar in their hairstyles and in their look. But, we've only had one iteration of Shadowcat in live action. That was played by Ellen Page. Ellen Page, great actor. I'm going to say actor because she has transitioned into a boy now. She is a great actor. I love her in the Umbrella Academy. I love her in X-Men. She's just great. But, I at times, when she was playing Kitty Pryde, I felt like that wasn't really the Kitty Pryde I knew. Because Kitty Pryde in the comics is a badass, In the, I think it was the Astonishing X-Men run, she literally saved the planet by phasing an entire, huge-ass bullet through planet Earth, which was really amazing. And, also in the Marvel Zombie stories, she was the one surviving superhero left after everyone died. So, she was actually the one in X-Men Days of Future Past we sent back in time. She has She is so cool. She is so powerful. And of course, if they do in live action, I would love her to have her dragon Lockhead. That's kind of like a dream of mine to see Lockhead in live action. But Kitty Pryde is such an interesting and cool character, and I think her persona will fit Billie Eilish as she plays her. I kind of see like Billie Eilish really connecting to the character. Of course, they also I've always wanted to see on screen the relationship of Kitty Pryde and Colossus, one that they've never explored in the movies, which is like I really enjoy that romance in the comics, especially in the Astonishing X-Men run. I just want to see that one day, and I just want to see like another iteration of Kitty Pryde on screen. But what do you guys think about this? Who do you think Billie Eilish could be playing in the MCU, or is she even joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Leave your comments down below. Let's move on to our second topic here today, and that is this. Blade. We talked about Blade a lot last week. Blade, being rumored that it has been pulled from the schedule indefinitely. And, it's a sign like, is this movie even happening? Now, there has been something that came out this morning about Blade, which is actually the best news we have heard about Blade in a very, very long time. And this is what came out from comicbookmovie.com. Blade reboot, reportedly on track to film next year. New script currently being written. This is coming from Daniel Richman, of course, and he's noting here it's going to be dark and R-rated, and it's going to have a smaller budget than other Marvel films, which makes sense. I don't think a Blade film, you don't need to overuse CGI in it. You're not going extraterrestrial. You're kind of making a movie about a guy who's going around New York, hunting vampires. And apparently, there's people who've written this. So this is what Alex P., another scooper, said why Blade is getting so hard to get done. It's saying the real reason why Blade isn't getting done is because the story is disconnected from the rest of the multiverse saga. Same goes for Armor Wars, Nova, etc. It's not that they're not getting made. They're getting pushed to make room for multiversal stories. It's true, you guys are really not thinking about it. The multiverse angle of the MCU, no matter how much you want to say, oh, it's a failure, it sucks, you gotta remember, those multiversal movies make money. Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, $900 million movie. Spider-Man No Way Home, almost $2 billion. Deadpool and Wolverine, $1.3 billion. Those movies make money. So movies like Blade are getting lost in shuffle. So sure, we got movies like Shang-Chi, but guys, Shang-Chi, $400 million. Black Widow, $400 million. The movies that are smaller scaled and don't have to deal with these multiversal / expansive threats have not done specifically well at the box office. And Marvel's seeing that it's like, okay, people are more gravitating towards the multiverse story. And of course, Blade has been lost in the shuffle. But I did read the other day that Mahershala Ali said that he's still on board. He is still on board to make this movie. And also great news, they're still writing the script. Of course, the script is still being worked on. But it's good to see that this Blade movie is saying, like, listen, the goal for Blade, we're going to film next year. We're not going to have a super high budget, but we still want to make this film. I want to see this film. Blade is such a cool character. He's not like these other Marvel heroes, he's not like someone who's super positive. He has a dark backstory, very dark backstory. Blade is a story of revenge. And I really hope they can pull this off. I really want to see Mahershala Ali suit up as Blade. More than anything else, I want to see that. Because when they announced that casting, I feel like this is the perfect guy. I can't imagine really anyone else besides Wesley Snipes, honestly, playing the character of Blade besides Mahershala Ali. And I want them to make this film. Who cares if they only make one Blade movie? I just want to see this movie get made. I think, Mahershala wants to see it made. I think Kevin Feige wants to see this movie made. And I think they don't just want to release a shitty Blade movie. They want to make a good R-rated Blade film. But guys, what do you think? Blade apparently finally getting some good news. Filming next year. What do you guys think about this? Do you think this will actually get made? Leave your comments down below, and let's move on to our third topic here today. And that is this. James Gunn James Gunn. James Gunn, he's still casting his DCU. Still casting it, There's a lot of, people still needs to cast, especially for his Batman movie. Probably got some more casting for that Lantern show. But, like James Gunn said, we have not seen the entire slate for the first chapter of Gods and Monsters. And a rumor started circulating over the weekend. A rumor started circulating that singer and somewhat actress Dua Lipa was joining the MCU as a certain character. Well, according to comicmovie.com, James Gunn responds to this rumor. This is what he has to say. James Gunn responds to the rumor that Dua Lipa has joined the DCU as Zatanna. And this rumor was that Dua Lipa had signed a 10-year deal with DC Studios. And this James Gunn literally went on Twitter. He was like, "Hey, I'm not trying to lock people into blood contracts. I'm not going to be signing guys to 10 years." He says Dua Lipa has not been cast. They said at the moment Zatanna we don't have any plans for. Which, thinking about it, makes sense. Zatanna is very kind of very much a character only really hardcore DC fans would know. And I think Dua Lipa. For what I've seen for her acting experience, the only thing I've seen is Argyle, and Argyle wasn't the best movie. I think she was pretty good in Argyle, to not lie, guys. But Dua Lipa and Zatanna, I'm game if that happens. I think Dua Lipa is a very attractive woman. I'm gonna say that. She's actually probably one of my crushes out there right now. Very attractive woman. But I just don't think Zatanna really fits into the mold of the DCU yet. I don't see a place where you can really put her right now, especially if you're just starting off this universe, you haven't really introduced that magic side yet. I guess, you use the supernatural Swamp Thing, but, if you want to go, like, maybe at the end of Chapter 1, beginning of Chapter 2 of this DCU, maybe start diving into the magic realm. Look at the MCU. They first wanted to start you off, with, like, okay, Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, Hulk, kind of, these, like, people, who are extraordinary, but nothing has to do with, like, magic or supernatural. Then we get into Phase 3 of Marvel, like, okay, this is the time where we can start introducing Doctor Strange. Thor, we started to introduce a little bit of magic in there. I think, the problem I'm having with James Gunn's DCU, guys, so far, is that I think he's introducing too many things too quickly. We got Superman, we got Supergirl, then we're going to extraterrestrial with lanterns, and then we got Batman Brave and the Bold. Then we got whatever Booster Gold's going to be. Then we have Swamp Thing, which is going to be our first step to supernatural. Well, if you really think about it, Creature Commandos is our first step in the supernatural. So I don't really know, like, if his universe is going to work. Because I feel like James Gunn, I get you want to do what you want to do, but Marvel understood that you need to start off with characters people will love, people who get to know first, build towards a certain Avengers film, I don't see right now where James is trying to build his universe to. And yet you don't want to copy Marvel, but still, you got to make this universe work, not just for DC fans, but for the common, moviegoer as well. But what do you guys think about this? About James Gunn denying rumors that Dua Lipa is going to be Zatanna in the DCU. Would you be okay with this casting? I personally would. Leave your comments down below, and let's move on to our fourth topic here today, and that is this. Avengers Secret Wars. It's coming. I believe it comes out in 3 years. We got a lot coming, and we've all expected that movie is going to be filled with cameos. A lot of cameos, including probably all the returning X-Men, the Fantastic Four, every single Marvel Legacy character. I'm thinking it's possible that they will return for that film. But before we get there, there has been, we can't forget one of the most iconic villains in Marvel, which is Thanos. And in that Secret Wars story, Thanos actually has a presence in that comic book story. Well, according to a new rumor, Mr. Josh Brolin might be coming back. According to a new report from comicmovie.com, Avengers Secret Wars, Josh Brolin now said to be in talks to return as Thanos. Of course, this comes from My Time to Shine, is that they are talking, that Marvel's trying to negotiate right now with trying to get Josh Brolin to come back to play the Mad Titan himself, Thanos. I think this would be really cool to see. I think if they did bring back Thanos, it would be kind of a way to kind of show how powerful Doom is. if they bring back Josh Brolin, you could see, maybe Doom ends up in another universe. And, we don't, the audience has to know, like, how do we show that Doctor Doom is more powerful and more threatening than any Marvel villain we've had before, that even the Avengers have to come together to defeat him? You have him kill Thanos in like 5 seconds. That is how you show, like, oh my god, this guy's on a different level. He is not like the other villains, You see that happen. You can immediately think, Doom fighting Thanos all by himself? Man, these Avengers don't stand a chance against him. I think that would be a reason to bring him back. I don't think you bring him back to be kind of a sub-villain or kind of have been for a lot of scenes. I think you just bring Thanos back as Josh Brolin to kind of show the audience that Doctor Doom is not someone to mess with. And, if this doesn't pan out, you could always do what they did with What If, have the guy who voiced Thanos in What If play a version of Thanos, or just not have Thanos speak at all and show Doom just totally annihilating him. And of course, I did say before, Thanos has had parts in the Secret Wars comics before, In the most recent one they did in 2015, I believe, he actually ended up on Battleworld, and he did fight Doom, but he got his ass spanked by Doom in like 5 seconds, like I just said. And also, this also has a chance to also have the Beyonder appeared. I always thought the Beyonder was going to show up in Loki season 2. I was very wrong about that. But what do you guys think? Josh Brolin now said to be in talks to return as Thanos. Are you excited, or do you think this is not gonna happen? I personally think this is going to be happening just to show that Doom is a total badass that the Avengers cannot stop. Leave your comments down below. Let's move on to our final topic here today, and that is this. A lot of Spider-Man 4 news came out last week. A lot of Spider-Man 4 news. Also a lot of Tom Holland news. Tom Holland, of course, gearing up for his next Chris Nolan movie, which I'm so happy about him. He's also got Spider-Man 4 and the Avengers movies to go from, so Tom Holland's a very busy man. But we've all been wondering, when are we going to get this Spider-Man 4 movie? When is the actual release date? Well, according to the Hollywood Reporter, we got that release date. According to them, Spider-Man 4 sets July 2026 release date. Let's look at this from a perspective. This Spider-Man 4 movie is going to be coming in between Doomsday and Secret Wars, which is something Marvel has done before. Look at this, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Ant-Man and the Wasp came in between and was told before the events of the Avengers film. Now, we still don't really know the story of this film. I think we can say now that this is not going to be a Venom v Spider-Man team up movie versus no. I don't think it's going to be it. I think they're going to try to go for the grounded approach or bring the Toby and Andrew back. But if this is coming in between these movies, I have to think, I don't know whether it takes place in between or before. I think it makes more sense if it takes before the events, You see Avengers Doomsday, stuff happens. Then you got Spider-Man 4 as your palate cleanser. Go see Spider-Man 4. It's like, okay, Spider-Man 4, I feel much better. I really want to see this grounded film. Like, recently, we were talking about Billie Eilish, and I was saying, like, hey, I'd love to see Billie Eilish as a Gwen Stacy or Black Cat. If you do a multiverse story for Tom Holland's Spider-Man 4, you can't introduce characters like that because they don't really fit into that story. I know a lot of people, want to see Zendaya come back. See Jacob Batalon come back as Ned. But I'm like, where Spider-Man left off in that film. This is a chance for Marvel and Sony to introduce a whole another smattera of Marvel Spider-Man characters, including Harry Osborn, Gwen Stacy, Eddie Brock, Felicia Hardy, maybe kind of showing Kurt Connors, Doc Octopus. He's entering a new era, in my opinion. This is a new era for Spider-Man in the MCU where he's on high school, he's going to be in college, and in college you're figuring what you want to do with your life, figuring out who you want to be around, making new friends, making your college friends, So having those friends from high school, drift away is something that happens. I think that could be really powerful for a Spider-Man 4 movie, saying like, even though your friends drift away, they'll always be a part of you, but you still have a chance to go make new friends, new connections. I don't know if that's the way they're going to go, I really want to see what this movie is going to be about, I'm excited for these next, 2 years for us just going over rumors about who's going to be in the movie, who's starring the movie. And, I can't wait to see, confirmations of a cast. I really want to see a new cast for this movie. Not new, like old. Not everyone new, but I want to see a new supporting cast. I want to see Gwen Stacy. I want to see Black Cat. I want to see Harry Osborn. I want to see a iteration of Eddie Brock. I want to see a Norman Osborn. I want to see these characters in Tom Holland's universe. And I'm really excited for this Spider-Man 4 movie. But what do you guys think? Spider-Man 4 coming in 2026 between Doomsday and Secret Wars. Do you think this is a good idea? Do you think this is actually gonna happen? Or do you think Spider-Man 4 might shift release dates? I'm personally thrilled that this movie is coming out, and I cannot wait to see what they do. And do you guys want this to be multiversal, or do you guys rather be more grounded? Leave comments down below, and thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Let's Talk About It. Leave your comments down below, like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe. We're on our way to 500 subscribers, and if you do it, I really hope you join us on this journey. And thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you next time, guys. Peace.